It is really incredible, and I really feel for the Greek people. I've been collaborating a little bit with some people in Greece and managed to get together. There's an international organization called the TAC, ATTAC.org, that have been fighting, the IMF and introducing such systems as the totem tax and so forth. But we have not been saved in Iceland. Because what the government did is that they put in the newest contract with the IMF, because we are having our third review, they put in that we would actually pay back and that we would compensate reasonable taxes, which is totally against what the nation voted for.
Okay, so see, I've missed this. Last time I checked, you've been in a year-long fight. You had said, no, we're not going to pay these tens of millions of dollars that we don't owe to banks that sold derivatives. We're not going to have public groups pay private debt. And so the parliament passed that, and you're now saying the bureaucracy is circumventing the will of the people and the government.
Well, the government, no. The government actually said, or the Icelandic finance minister and the head of the central bank signed the latest the latest contract with the IMF. What the nation did actually vetoed what the parliament had passed as the new contract about ISAFE last, when was it, in January or March? It's been so eventful this year. Anyway, so we are by far not saved, and I am sending out, as today, I am sending out right here and right now an SOS to help us get out of the IMF program. We do need the plan B, and we do need all the possible help we can, and I really think that nations that have been struggling under the IMF program need to work together and to just inform each other what do we have to make sure that we have to look out for. For example, just recently, a month ago, one of our energy companies has been taken over or bought by a foreign investor, and that is always the first step in an IMF program. We will lose all our assets or all our natural resources to foreign investors, multi-corporations, just like what happened in Bolivia. When Bechtel privatized the water and even the rainwater, you had to pay for that. So we're not safe yet. So we need all the help.
But you did win that major victory in saying no up front. But of course, they never back off. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Going back to WikiLeaks here briefly. I mean, this is such a huge story. Is there anything else you can tell us, or just in one statement without me interrupting, break down your part in that saga? I mean, so we can understand how you guys release things, or how you're involved with WikiLeaks, how the famous Baghdad massacre footage from 2007 got released a few months ago, showing them shooting the van full of kids, killing the Reuters reporter, and then laughing about it. And we'll play some of that video in the background while you're speaking. I mean, can you talk about your involvement in that video?
Well, I started to work with a couple of people from WikiLeaks, Julian Assange and Daniel Smith, in relation to, ask them to help me and other organizations here in Iceland because they have such incredible insight into where laws are weak and where laws are strong when it comes to information and protection of sources and whistleblowers and so forth. So I started to work with them. And we had probably around 10 people from different parts of the world working with us, legal experts and so forth, when it comes to legislation in this regard. So during that period, it was quite an intense work period, March, April, or March. I saw the Iraqi video, and I decided to help with that in any which way I could during my Easter holiday from the Parliament. Because, I am one of these people that helped organize protests against this war before it became a reality. And knowing how war is, I know that there's always war crimes and hideous things that happen that nobody will ever get to know. So when I saw this video, it was just a confirmation on what I had heard but not seen, and it was such an incredibly shocking scene to see, in particular after you knew who they were blasting down. And just this general ambience in the video, the complete disrespect for the people they had just killed or were about to kill.
Yeah, even if you're going to kill somebody, you should be reverent about it. This childlike, I mean, I saw videos of the G20 protesters singing "Oh Canada," and police beating men, women, and children. And I saw the comments going, yeah, beat them hippies. I mean, again, they're fighting against the corrupt banks that are robbing us. But even if they are hippies, what's wrong with that? Why would you support an injustice? Why do people feel like they're winners when they kill some kids or beat some women? I mean, this is sick.
It is very sick. And I think one of the beautiful elements of this entire story with the Iraqi video is that we did send a journalist, an investigative journalist, one of our best here in Iceland, to Baghdad to fact check if he could find witnesses and the children and so forth. And he indeed did find the children who had been very seriously wounded. And Ethan, I forgot his last name, one of the soldiers that actually discovered the children and was running with them to the sort of a hospital.
That's right. The ground
something.
forces show up and save the children who are bleeding to death.
Well, yes.
And then they tell the helicopters, you shot kids, and the helicopter guys start basically laughing about it, showing the difference. They're up, dehumanized themselves, dehumanizing those they're killing, but the actual ground troops, they're actually there seeing the carnage, and they haven't lost their humanity.
But this, in particular, this soldier who was carrying the children, he has done some incredibly courageous acts, and he's, with another soldier, written an apology to the families that, you know, for example, to the children and the mother who lost their husband. She lost her husband and they lost their father. And I think one of the reasons the children were saved was that, you know, the father's body after it had been killed shielded them. So, in a sense, and it was so important also for the families of the Reuters staff to finally hear the truth, and I find it so important that we remember that this is just one video. How many more incidents are there like this? This is not just one freak incident. There's another segment in this video, if you watch the raw cut, where you can see them blasting up a house or a big apartment building, and there is this guy just walking along the pavement, and they have him, they see him, and they still fire at the house, and just, they have no respect for life. And there were so many families in that house, and there was, the reporter from Iceland managed to track down one of the people that lived there. And he lost his wife and his daughter.
That's important to humanize these people, because when the Army's used against us here in the United States, we want to be seen as human, and they are training the military to take on the American people. In fact, here's an article today, Czech military to help National Guard establish chemical warfare unit in Texas. And I've been to these drills. These foreign troops are actually training to take on the American people. They'll have a decontamination drill in front of the media for outward consumption, but the real drills are to take on the American people. And we're going to premiere next week the video from Chicago of foreign troops training to take on the American people. So it's Iraqis today, it's us tomorrow. But you said something interesting, Birgitta Jónsdóttir, member of the Icelandic parliament and who helped leak some of the WikiLeaks information videos. You were saying that the Army specialist Bradley Manning, you were implying that he really isn't the one that gave this information to WikiLeaks. I mean, you're saying that...
No, I'm just saying that, you know, I personally don't have any proof for that. So I don't want to assume that it is indeed him or somebody else.
But, I mean, let's say it is him. I mean, Daniel Ellsberg didn't get in trouble, or they tried to, for releasing stuff that showed the government was lying and knew that the Vietnam War was lost, but was a moneymaker. I mean, if the people that released the photos of Abu Ghraib torture, they didn't go to prison. The people that did the torture did. This is many human rights experts have pointed out, Obama seems to be expanding persecution of whistleblowers that have always been protected.
Well, I find, if indeed this is Bradley Manning that leaked the Iraqi video, I think he's a hero, and he should be hailed like a hero. And I think it is very disturbing to find out what is actually occurring under Obama, because I think a lot of people were hoping that he would be entirely different than he has been showing. He's a very different person than before election. And I think that you guys have to be extremely on alert and on guard, and to give him proper pressure so that he doesn't impose all these laws.
Birgitta, stay there. Final segment with you.